Now, an Emeritus Newsbrief, I'm Lynn Huston. Democrats and Republicans battle it out over insurance company subsidies for Medicare. That story in just a moment, but first, the U.S. House has passed an extension for unemployment benefits. An estimated 314,000 Americans will exhaust their benefits in September alone, and over 1 million people will exhaust all benefits by the end of the year. The vote in the House was 331 to 83. The bill extends unemployment insurance benefits for 13 weeks in states that are suffering from high unemployment rates of at least 8.5% on a 3-month rolling average. The bill now moves to the Senate, where Democratic leaders want it passed as soon as possible by the end of the month at the latest. Despite plant closures, GM announces it'll be calling back 2,400 workers to plants that remain open to keep up with the increased consumer demand for the more fuel-efficient models. The complete callback plan and the locations affected on the Emeritus News employment page. Heated battles in the Senate Finance Committee as Humana Health used its Medicare client customer list to send letters to recipients urging them to fight insurance company subsidy cuts. The Obama administration has targeted more than $113 billion in subsidy cuts to insurance companies over 10 years to help pay for insurance reform. Republicans say it's Humana's First Amendment right to send the letters, but the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services wrote Humana a cease and desist order. And Democrats say Humana used a client base from government business for their campaign, which is against federal law. President Obama, in a speech before the United Nations, calls for a stronger commitment for all nations to face troubled times ahead.
The United Nations can either be a place where we bicker about outdated grievances or forge common ground. A place where we focus on what drives us apart or what brings us together. A place where we indulge tyranny or a source of moral authority. In short, the United Nations can be an institution that is disconnected from what matters in the lives of our citizens, or it can be an indispensable factor in advancing the interests of the people we serve. We have reached a pivotal moment. The United States stands ready to begin a new chapter of international cooperation, one that recognizes the rights and responsibilities of all nations. And so, with confidence in our cause and with a commitment to our values, we call on all nations to join us in building the future that our people so richly deserve. Thank you very much, everyone.
The president will be attending a G20 economic summit, which is going on this week in Pittsburgh. The focus, how to include third world nations in the economic recovery. The latest on the biggest issues and public policy at emeritusnews.com. And live 24 hours, 7 days a week on the Emeritus News channel at livestream.com. That's an Emeritus News Brief. I'm Lynn Huston.